Hello guys, welcome. In today's video we are going to talk about star operators. So the star operators in Python help us to provide multiple arguments in a function. So in star operators we have actually two type of operators which we will be using as an argument of the function. The first one we have is star args, and the second one we will be having double star keyword args. So first we will be discussing the basic syntax of star args and how can we use it with other parameters or other arguments of the function. So to understand it completely, we will be considering the practice program 1 to take the list as an argument by using star args and return the multiplication of the atoms present in the list. And the second program we will be having to take list as an argument, and by using the list comprehension we will power each element of the list by using the another parameter we are calling num here. So if the user did not write star args in this program, we will be generating a comment to tell him that he did not use star args. And then we will be having double star keyword args as a parameter and its example programs. So these all the things we will be covering in this video. So if you want to learn all these things, please stick to me at the end of this video. So now let's proceed. So first we are having star args. Now as we discussed earlier, these star arguments or operators you help us to provide multiple arguments. So I'm going to create a function. So suppose k is our function and I am in the argument I am using star args. So in this program, in this example program, we just have to return the sum of all the arguments. So first I am going to create a variable and assign 0 value to it, and then I am using for loop in args, as args is the argument, and then I am going to increment it by 1 by I, sorry, and then I can return t, and then I can call our function. So as we discussed that it can take multiple arguments, so I can take multiple arguments by using star args. So as you can see, if I run this program, you can see that all the numbers have been added. You can see that it can take multiple arguments, more than one argument. So if I used a variable, if I did not put a star here, so it will take only one argument. So if I just remove it and if I again run this program, you can see that it is generating an error because it can take only one proportional argument. So by using the star arguments, we can take multiple arguments by using just one function. You can see that. Now let's proceed that how can we use it with other parameters. So if we are using any other parameters, but instead of star r's, we must have to write first the parameter and then this operator star r. So what I'm telling, I'm going to create another function, and in this practice program I am considering the first practice program to take list as an argument and return the multiplication of the atoms of the list. So now multiplication is the name of the function, and then I'm going to create an argument called num and then star args. So you should note that all the parameters before star args, not after. All right, star args must appear at the last or at the second column. Now what we can do here, we can just simply create another variable called multiply and assign one value to it, and then we can just simply print. So to print the arguments I am using the string formatting. All right, num is num. All right, now I want to print the value which will be consisting by star args. So args is args. All right, now I am using for loop for I in args. So we have to multiply each and every atoms present in a list. So what we can directly do here, we can simply multiply star is equals to I here. So all the atoms will be stored in I, and then we can return simply it, and then we can simply call our function. So multiplies the name of the function, and then we can 6. So as you can see, if I run this program, you can see that the first argument will be stored in the first parameter num, so that we can see that here num is 2. So the args argument will take the remaining arguments. 4 and 6 will be stored in the args. So that we are multiplying args here because we are applying for loop in args. So that's why it is multiplying 4 and 6 and the multiplication present here. So if I increase a value 8, so you will be seeing that only 2 will be stored in num and all the 3 remaining arguments will be stored in args. You can see that here. Alright, let's proceed. So the second program we will be having that we are using star args here also, but we are also using list comprehension to power each element of the list. Alright, and we have to generate a comment also if the user did not return a star args argument. Alright, now let's proceed. So before proceeding a function, we have to generate a number. I am taking it from the user, so it must be an integer input to power each element. So we have to power each element of the list. So for this we have to create an integer. So enter a number. So enter a number, and then I'm going to create a function def. So we have list is the name of the function, and inside the list we have num comma star args. So as you can see here, we are using num to power each element of the list. Now, so we have to generate a comment also. So if the user is using star args as an argument, so the comment was not generated. But if the user did not use star args, so the comment or the warning we should generate. So for this I am using if args. If args is present, then we can simply use string formatting and power the function. I am using string formatting here. I multiply with num, because num is the first argument we are using to power the each element of the list. For I in args. Alright, it is completed. Each element of the list will be powered by num and stored in G. So we can simply return G here, and then we have else command. So if user did not write args function in the argument, so we can simply generate a comment. You did not write args. Alright, you did not write args. Now, so to give list as an argument, so we haven't give list as an argument. So first we have to create a list. So I can just create a list here also. So b is equals to, I can just give it 2, 3 and 4. So these are the, so this is the augmented list, and I can simply print list, which is the name of the function, and a, which is the which will be stored in num. So, and I want to create a list, I want the list to be stored in args. So how can I, so I, if I want a list to store, so I must have to use star before b. So the syntax must be like this, because I am using list as an argument for args. So as I am using list as an argument for args, I must have to write asterisk. So as you can see, for in this program, so it wants me to write a number. So suppose 2, you can see that all the elements of the list are powered by 2. So what if I don't write anything here, just b here, which is the name of the list? So if, as you can see, if I run this program, you will see that because the list won't be directly stored in args, I have to put asterisk here. So as you can see, if I run this program and put 2 enter, you can see that it will generate an error. Why? Because unsupported type, the power function. List an integer, it cannot be stored directly in args function. So as I am storing it, so I must have to use star. As I again run this program, you can see that it is working fine now. Now let's proceed. We have covered all these practice program of star. We have double star args as parameter. So we have double star args. So by using the main work for this double asterisk operator, that it can take multiple arguments at a time. So we don't have to write the arguments when we are calling the function. All right. So what I'm telling is that, so suppose I'm going to create a function called def, and I'm going to create a function called func, and inside and in the argument of this function I am writing keyword iron. All right. Now what we have to do, we just have to return function. So as I'm returning function, so I am calling it func in the function. So we have first name, my first name, and then we have last name, my last name. All right. Now what we have here is that first I create a function and directly return it. So I gave all the arguments in the, when I call the function. So these all the arguments will be stored in double asterisk keyword args. So as you can see, if I run this program, you can see that it is returning a garbage way, or the position of the function where it is stored. So I don't need to return the function, I must write here, right, because I am using keyword args as an argument, so I must have to return the argument of the function. As you can see, if I run this program, so you can see that all the arguments are appearing at the output, and it should be, you should note that the double start keyword argument function, it always return arguments in a dictionary data type. You can see that it is appearing in a dictionary, so it is the key and it is the value, and the second element, it is the 2 atoms dictionary. All right, now let's proceed further. So we can also apply dot atoms method in a keyword dictionary. So how can we do that? So I can directly create a same program here, double asterisk keyword args. All right. Now, so what we need to do, first we need to apply for loop. So I can directly, so in dictionary, as we discussed when we were learning dictionary, we have two arguments, I and j. I is for the key and j is for the value. So we can directly return it with in keyword args. So I can directly run this loop in keyword, and then I am applying dot atoms method. So as I am applying dot atoms method, what we have to do, I have to directly print I and j. I have to print I and j. So my work here is done. So I just need to call my function. So I can just call my function like func, and the arguments same. I can use the same arguments here. I can just copy and paste it here. So as you can see, if I run this program, so the invalid syntax, yes, I have to use, yes, I have to use these. Now as you can see, if I run this program, you can see that these dictionaries atoms are appearing in horizontal. Now let's proceed. Now similar in args for list and tuple, in keyword args we can use to unpack the data. So how can we use double star keyword args to unpack the data? I am going to use the same function, double star keyword args. Now I just need to use the for loop. I just have to need to use the for loop, and inside the for loop I can directly print I for the keys and j for the values. Sorry, yes, now it is perfect. Now j is for the value. Now what we have to do now, we have to create a dictionary. To unpack the data from a dictionary or any data type, we must need to create it. Now we can directly, d is equals to, d is our dictionary. Suppose name, I can write my name here, and then my last name. So I'm just writing last here. So I can write my last name, and then I can write age, and we can write my age here. So I must need to call my function now. So I am using dictionary as an argument now. To unpack the dictionary, I must need to use double static to identify that I am using d as an argument, which is the dictionary. Now as you can see, if I run this program, you can see that all the data has been unpacked from the dictionary. So that is how we can use these double static to unpack the data. Now, so if we use a normal parameter or a default parameter with double star keyword args in one function, the order must be like this. So how the order we must arrange if we are using anything num or any name function with double star. So I can directly use it like double star. Sorry, first we need to write the parameter. So if suppose if I just need to write name, and then I have to use star args, and then I am writing the last name. So I can assign last name here directly, and then at last I have to use double star arg. So as you can see here, double star args must be used at last. So first we need to write a parameter which the value we will be given at the last of the function, and then we can use 1 star args, and then the argument which the value we can give when we are just defining it, and then we have double star keyword args. So the order must be like in this order. All right, now so we can directly print. So if I just we can write print name, and we can just print args, and then we can just print last name, and then we can just print args. All right, now we need to now call the function. So we can just call the function as function. So the name must be the first argument will be given to the first name, and then the star args. So we can directly write here 1 2 3 1 2 3. So these all the integers will be given to the args, and then I can assign a is equals to 1 and b is equals to 2. So these values will be given to this keyword args. So as you can see for in this program, there is a problem. I forgot to write the name of the. Yes, now it is perfect. As I run this program, you can see that the first argument will be given to the first argument name, and the 1 2 3 will be assigned to args. The last name, as we mentioned, is a pairing, and all the last values a and b which are assigned at the last of the argument will be added in keyword args. So I hope it is clear now that how we give arguments to args and keyword args. So I hope it is cleared all the things. So that's all about today. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe our channel for more. Thank you very much for watching.